I think it's cool because it's more intimate and just you get cats that are kind of wanting to just conversate instead of just type to be heard, or scream. One thing that's tripping me out, honest with you guys, I don't think I've ever seen so many American flags everywhere, dude. Like freaking everywhere. It's like since Colin Kaepernick took a knee, it's like everybody's all of a sudden getting patriotic. Like they're showing their Americanism, and they allude to the whole Trump thing as being pro-American. What the fuck is pro-American, really? Like, it's just like, okay, what is America? Like, what in America are you pro? Like, seriously, dude. It seems like a lot of people are pro the racism of America at this point. Whenever you see that, it's either they won't outright say it, they'll just, ignore certain racial issues. What are you pro-American about? Some of you guys will say freedom of speech and freedom, but yet when someone says something against, or I won't even say against, someone speaks up for their livelihood, as far as black people here, you're not so pro that. You want to bring up an all lives matter agenda or whatever, when the reason that Black Lives Matter was coined was because our issues weren't being heard. Keep in mind, that actually did start when Obama was in office too. We have to push forth our own agenda in that regard. Some people probably don't think that I should say anything because of my views about who you date, which I said I don't care, but I'll say this: anyone that's black, that's not speaking up, can also be marginalized as well. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm gonna say what I say anyway. You have your own views. I have mine. Some of our views are similar, some of them are not. I'm not a xenophobic person. I do understand where certain people are coming from in that regard, but in some aspects of that I can agree and disagree. And other cats might just kind of chalk it up to me not even having my word being heard because of my religious beliefs too. Which, to be honest, here you don't really know much about those beliefs unless you were from the East. Other than that, man, that's all like what it is, and everyone has their own decision to make. Make sure that everything is on point with where you are. I admire those people that do that and that are trying to crazy world, man. But what are we gonna do with our space of it being crazy? You are your own person. God gave you yourself to rule over. When it talks about dominion, the first thing that you rule over is yourself. And it's not in a deprecating manner, it's in a way that will build you to the best person you should be. I'm learning that out every day. Sometimes I don't build myself up like that, and I should. That to me is true self-love. I mean self-love. Not something where you're just, like an arrogance. It's not that at all. It's more of just you love who God made. I feel like I'm talking to myself for obvious reasons because there's no one here, but it's all good. Chilling the room, man. have videos coming up. I want to make it so good to the point where I've let that really kind of detour me. And what I'm gonna do is just pretty much kind of try to cut down what I meant to do on at least one of those videos. Try to make it just more simple, because I could go into detail about everything. I have a tendency to do that because I'm very analytical about stuff, and I analyze stuff a lot, which is why I read really slow too. But yeah, we're cool. Try. Sometimes I always wonder about, my last day. I hate even thinking about that. It's a wonder in everybody's mind, really. Every human being thinks about that day. I'm not going to cause it, but I just lost a friend of mine. Well, lost his brother actually, to that. And a few, like last year, I lost 2 friends to suicide. I'm not saying I'm being suicidal. I'm not. I've struggled with things where it's just like I feel bummed about just certain things that I've gone through. But I'm not. I've never been to that point. I don't ever think that I have. But it's a trip, man. You never know what people are going through. And I didn't even know. The last time I saw him is, when I saw him at the party that I was at, it was the whole family, The guy that I know who's a really good friend of mine from junior high is how I met the whole family. It pretty much was like the only family my mom trusted to me to go over and kick it with when I was a kid. I would have never known, like, he was that way, man. And I found out he killed himself earlier this year. I had no idea, man. If you cat up, man, hit me up on here if you need to, in my comment section or whatever. Yeah, I'll listen, to a live chat, but like personal chat online or whatever. Heavy stuff, man, heavy stuff. I often ask the question, man, where's the consequence? And it's, no person wants to do anything to where they don't want that kind of stuff on you, You want people to be on you like that, to where they can just do anything. Something's gotta give, and I think it's gonna give very, very soon. Maybe I'm wrong. To those that have actually done things, not just. But when you consider hate crimes or crimes against children, I think I weigh between that. The reason that I'm not for the death penalty is because of how geared towards us black people. But I'm also pro-life too. But then thinking about it, it's just like, I'm sick of this white identity terrorist shit. And then you got these, child rapists. What do you do with that? I struggle with that, to be honest. Someone that tries to be pro-life and not just, anti-abortion, I mean just pro-life, period. I do believe in self-defense. And it's another reason I believe in pro-life, because I want to prolong my life too. I want to prolong, the life of other good people. It's just, I'm saying all my thoughts right now. Not all of them, but it's just kind of a thing that I've been thinking. I don't get on live stream much. Usually it's late when I do. So it's a trip just to even think about it, man. Who's there, man? Who's that one cat, man? Say your name. Not to try to equate you with Beyonce, but say your name. I got one lurker, and I'm wondering who that person is. Yeah, so I'm going to work right now, y'all. Just trying to make. Yeah, man. Going to work. A lot on my mind, man. Then my dad, it's funny. I know people are on the whole you're nuts thing, but any kind of terrorism will, like locally, especially by these WITs, affects us. And I heard that was some kind of like massacre at a synagogue. My dad told me about that earlier today when we were talking about just these white identity extremist activities. When it came to what happened at that Kroger market and that bomb idiot. So yeah, it's kind of like I just been really wanting to see what with that, I don't know. I'm about to go to work right now. I have some future things that I want to do. It's not really set in stone right now. I told you guys about two of my essays, but the one that's set in the other ones are like a friend of mine who goes by the name of Audio Cyrus. Me and him are on the same wavelength when it comes to talking about music and a lot of other things. So I thought about doing like a cast with him. I'm also gonna try to bring out more stuff from a lot of my fellow black alternative punk rocker goth type friends and introduce the world to them, even though I'm in the closet sector of you, I thought it would be cool to do so. Some of my friends I know personally, some of them I don't know. I just met. What the hell? Who is in the middle of a freaking road? So yeah, we got that contingency of people. I wanna try to introduce people to those types. Like just um, because I mean, it's one thing. A lot of us in the black community, not all, but a lot of us, I understand as I'm an older person and just the need to have a definition of who we are because of what happened to us. And being a person that grew up in pretty diverse environment, even though I lived in what people might call the hood as well, and being a part of certain subcultures that people consider, non-black or predominantly or somewhat white or predominantly white, I should say. There's a lot of lots of how could I say it? Backlash that I received because I didn't look like a typical black dude. And for me, as a kid, of course, I got offended. It was bumming me out. My people ain't accepting me. But as an adult and kind of I learned that a lot of us, we're just trying to define ourselves and just trying to have one set. Get that. And still do that. I could not only do that, but also have a sense of culture and identity. Which, if you look at Afro-American history, we've come from things where, situations where we've had those, what my uncle, may he rest in peace, called Africanisms that have existed with us. But those things within our Africanist type ways have get out of here, have created a lot of new things, you know. And it's nothing wrong with being who you are, basically. And who you are is how you look, what you were born with and how you look, and also your ideology and your way of looking at things and expressing yourself. I don't look at it separate, I look at it as one squad. You guys are gonna hear that a lot from me. Anyway, it's time for me to roll and rock, and I guess I'll see you. Of course.